What if four young black men were blamed for a crime they did not commit, and it took more than 70 years for the truth to finally be recognized? Today, we're discovering the incredible true story of the Groveland Four, one of the most important but lesser-known stories from the early civil rights movement. It's a story about courage, fairness, and why learning from history still matters today. And trust us, the ending is something you won't forget. Our story begins in Groveland, Florida, in July 1949. Four African-American men, Ernest Thomas, Samuel Shepard, Walter Irvin, and Charles Greenlee, were accused of a serious crime involving a young white woman. Charles Greenlee was only 16 years old, while Shepard and Irvin were 22-year-old World War II veterans. Before all the facts were carefully investigated, fear, racism, and anger spread throughout the community. What happened next shocked the nation. Ernest Thomas was killed during a manhunt before he ever had the chance to stand trial. The other three men were arrested, and later investigations showed they had been mistreated while in custody. Despite serious questions about the evidence and the fairness of the trial, Shepard, Irvin, and Greenlee were convicted by an all-white jury. Shepard and Irvin were sentenced to death, while Greenlee, because he was a teenager, received a life sentence. But the story wasn't over yet. A determined lawyer named Thurgood Marshall stepped in to help. Before becoming the first black justice on the United States Supreme Court, Marshall worked for the NAACP, fighting to protect people's constitutional rights. Believing Walter Irvin and Samuel Shepard had not received a fair trial, he helped take their case all the way to the United States Supreme Court. Then something incredible happened. In 1951, the Supreme Court overturned the convictions of Irvin and Shepard, ruling that the trial had been unfair because prejudice and publicity had influenced the jury. It was an important victory for justice, but the hardest part of the story was still ahead. While Irvin and Shepard were being transported back to Lake County for a new trial, Sheriff Willis McCall shot both men. Samuel Shepard died, but Walter Irvin survived. Even after surviving the shooting, Irvin was tried again, convicted again, and sentenced to death a second time before his sentence was later changed to life in prison. Charles Greenlee also spent years in prison before eventually being released. For decades, the families of the Groveland Four, historians, lawyers, and community members continued searching for the truth. They believed these men deserved justice, no matter how much time had passed. Finally, more than 70 years later, history was corrected. In 2019, the state of Florida granted full pardons to all four members of the Groveland Four. Then, on November 22, 2021, a Florida judge officially cleared their names by dismissing the remaining indictments and setting aside the convictions. After decades of waiting, the Groveland Four were finally exonerated. Why does this story matter today? Because it reminds us that every person deserves fairness, equal treatment, and justice. It also shows that even when mistakes are made, people who keep searching for the truth can help make things right. History isn't just about learning dates and names. It's about learning lessons we can use every day, treating others with kindness, standing up for what's right, and never giving up on the truth that changed our world. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep learning with Fresberg Cartoon.